Welcome back to the channel, Rarest Coins, where we uncover the hidden stories and unbelievable values behind coins you might already have in your collection. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most legendary and widely collected coins in American history, the 1944 wheat penny. This humble 1-cent coin has been in the hands of millions of Americans for generations. But what most people don't realize is that one rare version of the 1944 wheat penny reportedly sold for an incredible $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth just 1 cent, struck in 1944, eventually changed hands for nearly $2 million. So how is that even possible? What makes this coin so valuable? And how can you tell if you have one of these rare wheat pennies hiding in a drawer or coin jar right now? Stick around, because today we're diving into the full history of the 1944 wheat penny, the types of errors that make it rare, and how one coin became one of the most valuable pennies ever sold. Let's start with some background. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person and was designed by Victor David Brenner. The coin shows a portrait of Lincoln on the front, with 2 wheat stalks curving along the sides on the reverse. That's why collectors call it the wheat penny. The wheat penny remained in production until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. But among the wheat pennies, some years stand out, and 1944 is one of the most talked about dates in all of coin collecting. During World War II, copper was a valuable wartime material. So in 1943, the U.S. Mint stopped using copper to make pennies and instead struck them in zinc-coated steel. These 1943 steel pennies are silver-colored and have become famous in their own right. But then in 1944, after public complaints and problems with the steel cents, the Mint returned to using copper. However, that transition didn't go exactly as planned. In 1944, millions of wheat pennies were struck using recycled ammunition shell casings from the war, which gave them a slightly different tone and composition than previous years. But here's where the story gets interesting. Despite switching back to copper, a few coins from 1944 were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from the previous year. This is what collectors call a transitional error, and those steel 1944 wheat pennies are incredibly rare. It's estimated that only a few dozen exist. Most of them were minted in Philadelphia, but there are also known examples from Denver and San Francisco, each identified by the D or S mint mark under the date. And if you have one of these coins, you are holding one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in the world. In fact, one of these 1944 steel wheat pennies in near-perfect condition reportedly sold for an unbelievable $1.9 million. It was authenticated and graded by a professional grading service and described as being in mint state condition with extremely sharp details. It was sold privately to a top-tier collector who was willing to pay almost $2 million for the privilege of owning one of the greatest coin rarities in U.S. history. Now the big question is, how can you tell if your 1944 penny is one of these rare steel versions? There are a few simple steps you can take. First, check the color. A normal 1944 penny should be a copper or reddish-brown color. If your 1944 penny looks silver or gray, that's a big clue that it might be struck on a steel planchet. Second, use a magnet. Steel cents are magnetic. Copper cents are not. If your 1944 penny sticks to a magnet, that is a huge red flag that you might have something rare and incredibly valuable. Third, weigh the coin. A copper 1944 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. A steel penny will weigh closer to 2.7 grams. You'll need a precise digital scale, but this small difference in weight can help confirm what type of metal your coin is made from. And finally, if you believe you have a 1944 steel wheat penny, the next step is to send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will authenticate the coin, confirm the metal content, and assign it a grade based on its condition. Only then will you know the true value of your coin. Even if you don't have the rare steel version, a regular 1944 copper wheat penny can still have value, especially if it's in excellent condition. In uncirculated condition, these coins can be worth anywhere from $1 to several $100s, depending on the grade and mint mark. So it's always worth checking, even if your penny looks like a typical copper coin. Let's do a quick recap. In 1943, pennies were made from steel because of the war. In 1944, the mint went back to copper, but a few steel planchets were accidentally used, creating one of the rarest error coins in U.S. history. These 1944 steel wheat pennies are worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and one of them, in near-perfect condition, sold for a record-breaking $1.9 million. That's the power of coin collecting. What looks like pocket change could be a life-changing discovery. And the best part is, these coins are still out there. You don't need to be rich to find one. All you need is a little curiosity, a magnet, a good eye, and maybe some patience to go check your change jars, old coin collections, and rolls of pennies. Look for that 1944 wheat penny, and pay close attention to the color, the weight, and the magnet test. You never know. You might be holding the next million-dollar penny in the palm of your hand. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video interesting or helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories, rare finds, and valuable tips. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you think you found a rare coin or have a coin story of your own, drop it in the comments. We love hearing from fellow collectors. Until next time, keep looking, keep learning, and as always, happy collecting. Would you like a shorter version of this script for a YouTube short or TikTok? Or a version with visual cues for editors? I can help format it however you need. Welcome back to the channel where we explore the fascinating stories and hidden treasures behind everyday coins. If you've ever looked at an old penny and wondered if it might be worth more than 1 cent, then today's episode is for you. We're diving deep into the story of the 1957 wheat penny, a coin that millions of Americans have handled without realizing its potential value. Rarest coins. While most 1957 pennies are common and easy to find, there's one extremely rare version of this coin that reportedly sold for an eye-popping $1.7 million. That's right, 1 cent turned into over $1 million for one lucky collector. So how is that possible? What makes this particular coin so valuable? And how can you tell if you might have one of these rare pieces in your own collection? Let's explore the full history of the 1957 wheat penny, the types of errors that can increase its value, and the incredible story behind $1 million cent. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first American coin to feature the image of a real person and was designed by Victor David Brenner. His portrait of Lincoln has remained on the penny to this day. From 1909 through 1958, the reverse design featured 2 stalks of wheat along the edges, earning it the nickname Wheat Penny. By 1957, the wheat penny was nearing the end of its run. Just 1 year later, the design would be replaced with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. So the 1957 penny was one of the final coins in this iconic series. That year, 2 major mints produced pennies: Philadelphia, which did not use a mint mark, and Denver, which used a small d below the date. The 1957 and 1957 D wheat pennies were struck in huge numbers. Over 1 billion pennies were produced that year. Most of them are made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. A standard 1957 penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If your coin matches these basic specs, it's likely a common one worth only a few cents to a few dollars, depending on its condition. But then comes the twist. Among those billions of coins, a tiny handful were struck with mint errors or unusual variations. These rare mistakes can turn a common penny into a collector's dream. And one particular 1957 wheat penny with a dramatic and extremely rare error was rumored to have been sold privately for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. What made that penny so valuable? According to reports, the $1 million 1957 penny was a mint error coin struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being struck on a copper penny blank, it was struck on a silver dime planchet. That's a serious minting mistake, and it created a coin that was completely unique. It was lighter, had a silver appearance, and featured partial details of the wheat penny design due to the smaller size of the dime blank. Add to that the fact that the coin was in near-perfect condition, graded as a high-level mint state coin, and you get a once-in-a-lifetime piece that collectors were willing to pay nearly $2 million for. Now the big question is, how do you know if your 1957 penny might be rare or even worth a fortune? Here are a few things to look out for. First, check the color and appearance. A normal 1957 penny should have a copper or reddish-brown tone. If your coin appears silver, gray, or unusually shiny, it may have been struck on the wrong metal. That's a major red flag. Next, test it with a magnet. Copper is not magnetic. Neither is silver. But if your coin is attracted to a magnet, it might be a fake or struck on a steel planchet, which is still worth investigating. Then, weigh the coin. A regular 1957 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If the coin weighs less than 2.7 grams, it may have been struck on a dime planchet or another foreign metal blank. You'll need a precision digital scale to get an accurate reading. Also, inspect the design. A coin struck on the wrong planchet may appear off-center, or parts of the design may be missing or cut off. If the edges look unusual or the rim is incomplete, that could be a sign of a rare error. You should also check for known varieties. Some 1957 wheat pennies have doubling on the date or lettering, known as a double die error. Others have repunched mint marks, where the letter D was struck more than once. These errors are less dramatic, but can still be worth hundreds of dollars depending on condition. That if you find something that looks unusual or promising, your next step should be to have the coin professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. These grading companies can authenticate the coin, determine if it's a genuine error, and assign it an official grade. That grade, especially if it's high, can dramatically increase the value of your coin. Even if you don't have the million-dollar version, regular 1957 wheat pennies can still be collectible. Uncirculated examples with a bright red tone can sell for $5 to $20. Coins with rare varieties or errors can bring in several hundred or more. So it's definitely worth checking the details of every 1957 penny you come across. Now let's step back and appreciate what makes the wheat penny so special. It's not just about the money. It's about the connection to American history, to a simpler time, to a design that stood strong for nearly 50 years. The wheat penny reminds us that even the smallest coin can carry tremendous meaning, and sometimes incredible value. So if you have a collection of old coins, or just a jar of change sitting in your kitchen, take the time to look through it. Set aside every wheat penny. Look closely at each 1957 penny you find. You never know. You could be holding one of the rarest coins in American history. Thanks for watching and being part of this journey into the world of rare coins and hidden treasures. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing coin stories and collecting tips. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And if you found a rare coin or have a question about your own collection, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep your eyes open, check your change, and as always, happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like this script tailored for a voiceover with pauses, made into a shorter version for YouTube Shorts or TikTok, or formatted for a blog or newsletter. Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the fascinating history and hidden value behind everyday coins that might be sitting in your pocket, coin jar, or old family collection. Today, we're exploring one of the most iconic and beloved coins in American numismatic history, the 1952 D. Lincoln Wheat rarest coins. It might look like just another old penny, but one specific version of this coin is rumored to have sold for an unbelievable $1.8 million. That's right. A coin worth just 1 cent at face value somehow became a $1 million collectible. So how did it happen? What makes this coin so valuable? And could you possibly have one in your possession right now? Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover everything you need to know about the 1952 D. Wheat penny, how to spot rare varieties and errors, and why this coin still holds a powerful place in the world of rare collectibles. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln Wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln Wheat cent, was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature the image of a real person, and it remained in circulation with the iconic wheat ears on the back until 1958. Now, the 1952 D. Wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small letter D just beneath the year on the front of the coin. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 500 million wheat pennies. So yes, the 1952 D penny is considered common in the world of numismatics. But like many coins, not every single one was created equal. Most 1952 D wheat pennies are made of a bronze alloy, 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc. They weigh about 3.11 grams and feature the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, with the words "In God We Trust" above his head, Liberty on the left, and the date and mint mark on the right. On the reverse, you'll find the words 1 cent and United States of America flanked by 2 wheat ears, with E pluribus unum curved along the top. SOY is one version of this otherwise ordinary coin rumored to have sold for $1.8 million. It all comes down to rare minting errors, unusual conditions, and one-of-a-kind specimens. According to collectors, the coin that reached such a massive value wasn't your average 1952 D-penny. It was a rare error coin struck on the wrong planchet, possibly from a foreign denomination and in pristine, uncirculated condition. It's what collectors call a transitional planchet error. Now here's what that means. A planchet is the blank metal disc that a coin is struck on. Sometimes, by accident, a coin is struck on a planchet mint for a different metal or size. These kinds of mistakes are extremely rare, especially when combined with a nearly flawless mint state grade. And when a coin like that comes up for private sale between elite collectors, the price can climb into the millions. The legendary $1.8 million 1952 D-penny is said to be one of the finest known transitional error coins ever discovered. Experts believe it may have been struck on an aluminum or experimental planchet, possibly used during testing phases or mixed in from foreign coin production. Combine that with a mint state grade, something like MS-68 or higher, and you've got a coin that's practically priceless in the eyes of high-end collectors. So how can you tell if your 1952 D-wheat penny is something special? First, check the color and surface. A normal 1952 D-penny will have a rich brown or red-brown color, typical of aged copper. If your coin looks silver, aluminum, or even unusually light, that could be a major clue that it was struck on the wrong metal. Second, weigh the coin. A standard copper penny from 1952 should weigh around 3.11 grams. If it weighs significantly less, closer to 2.5 grams or lower, it may have been struck on an aluminum or steel planchet. A digital coin scale can give you a very clear reading. Third, examine the coin's details under magnification. Look for doubled dies, where parts of the date or lettering appear doubled. Look for off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, or missing details in the design. These are all examples of mint errors that can add significant value to a coin. Also, pay attention to the coin's overall condition. The grading scale goes from 1 to 70, with coins graded above 65 considered mint state. The closer a coin is to perfect, the more desirable it becomes to serious collectors. If you find a 1952 D-penny that looks like it just came out of the mint, you should definitely have it evaluated by a professional to confirm authenticity and determine value. Send your coin to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will inspect the coin, verify any errors, and assign it a professional grade. That certification is what separates a high-value collectible from just another penny. Even if you don't have the million-dollar version, many 1952 D-wheat pennies can still be valuable. In mint condition, without any errors, these coins can fetch anywhere from $5 to $50 or more. Special varieties, like doubled dies or repunched mint marks, can be worth several $100s depending on the grade. Now let's take a step back and appreciate what makes this story so special. A small, copper coin that most people wouldn't even look at twice has the potential to be worth nearly $2 million. It's a powerful reminder that rare treasures are often hidden in plain sight. And it proves that coin collecting is not just a hobby. It's a gateway to discovering history, value, and sometimes even life-changing fortune. So what should you do next? Start by checking your own collection. Look through old jars of change, family coin albums, or rolls of pennies from the bank. Look specifically for 1952 D-wheat pennies and examine them closely. Test their weight, check their color, and look for unusual features or perfect condition. Because you never know, your next coin find might be the one that sets a record. Thanks for watching and being part of this journey into the world of rare coins. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more coin values, hidden treasures, and collecting tips. Don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you think you found something rare, drop a comment below. We love hearing your stories and helping fellow collectors. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and as always, happy collecting. Would you like a short version for a YouTube short or a script designed with visual cues for editors and content creators? Just let me know how else I can support your video project. Welcome back to the channel that explores the incredible world of coins, collecting, and the hidden value sitting right in your pocket. Rarest coins. Today we're talking about one of the most iconic coins in American history, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny. It's a coin that millions of people have seen and handled over the years, but very few realize just how valuable it can be under the right conditions. In fact, one incredibly rare 1951 penny is said to have sold for an astonishing $1.6 million. That's right, 1 cent. One tiny copper coin. One piece of change that turned into a small fortune for one lucky collector. So what made that 1951 penny so special? What should you be looking for in your own collection? And how can you tell if you might be holding a coin worth a life-changing amount of money? In today's video, we're going deep into the history of the 1951 wheat penny, the different versions that were struck, the errors that can make it rare, and the story behind one of the most valuable small coins ever sold. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, also known as the Lincoln Cent or Wheat Cent, was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person and quickly became one of the most beloved designs in American coinage. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and features a portrait of Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. This wheat design lasted until 1958, making it a long-running and widely collected series. Now let's talk specifically about the year 1951. That year, the U.S. Mint struck hundreds of millions of pennies at 3 locations. The Philadelphia Mint, which used no mint mark, the Denver Mint, which used a small D below the date, and the San Francisco Mint, which used an S. All 3 versions are considered common, especially in circulated condition. But as with many coins, there are exceptions, and that's where things get exciting. The most famous and most valuable 1951 wheat penny was reportedly a rare error coin struck on the wrong planchet. Instead of being struck on a copper blank, it was somehow struck on a foreign silver planchet. This resulted in a one-of-a-kind coin with a bright silver tone, a lighter weight, and a stunning appearance. Combine that kind of error with high-grade condition, and the result was a sale that reportedly reached $1.6 million in a private transaction between elite collectors. Now the obvious question is, how do you know if your 1951 penny is rare or even potentially worth millions? Here's what you need to check. First, look at the color. Most 1951 pennies are copper-colored or reddish-brown. If your coin appears silver or has a white metal shine, that could mean it was struck on the wrong metal planchet. This is extremely rare, but it's something you can spot just by paying close attention. Second, weigh the coin using a precise digital scale. A normal 1951 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your coin weighs significantly less, especially under 2.7 grams, that's a big clue that it might not be struck on standard copper alloy. Planchet errors often result in coins that are much lighter or heavier than normal. Third, try the magnet test. Copper and silver are not magnetic, so your coin shouldn't stick to a magnet. If it does, that could indicate it's either fake or possibly struck on a steel or iron blank. While this doesn't guarantee value, it's another quick way to rule out obvious fakes or test for odd metals. Now let's talk about condition. Most coins from 1951 are heavily worn from decades of circulation. But if you find a 1951 penny in near-perfect condition, with full original luster and minimal scratches or wear, it could be worth more than you think. In mint state condition, even a regular 1951 wheat penny can sell for $20 to $50. If it's a rare variety or an error coin, the value could skyrocket. One of the most valuable types of errors found on 1951 wheat pennies is the doubled die. That's when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly, creating a doubling effect in the date or lettering. These can be subtle, but collectors are always searching for strong examples. A doubled die in high-grade condition can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another error to look out for is a repunched mint mark. That happens when the mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. This kind of variety adds interest and value, especially among serious collectors who look for even the smallest details. And let's not forget off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. All of these minting mistakes can turn an ordinary penny into something rare and collectible. Each type of error tells a unique story about how the coin was made and how it slipped past quality control at the mint. If you think you found a rare 1951 penny, the best next step is to get it graded and authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll evaluate your coin for authenticity, condition, and any possible errors. Getting a high grade, especially a mint state rating above MS65, can dramatically increase a coin's market value. Collectors pay a premium for coins in pristine condition with certified authenticity. So let's recap. The 1951 wheat penny is a beloved and widely collected coin that's usually worth a few cents to a few dollars in average condition. But under the right circumstances, such as a rare mint error, unusual planchet, or perfect condition, it can be worth thousands, or in the case of one extremely rare example, a staggering $1.6 million. That one-of-a-kind coin was a perfect storm of rarity, historical error, and collector demand. And it serves as a reminder that some of the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight. You never know when a penny could turn into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. So go through your coins. Check your change jars, your drawers, your old family albums. Examine every 1951 penny you come across. Look at the color, the weight, the condition, and the details. You just might uncover a hidden gem that's been waiting decades for someone to notice. Thanks for watching and being a part of the growing community of collectors and treasure hunters who believe that every coin has a story. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you never miss a future episode. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or have a question about your collection. We love hearing from you and sharing your stories. Until next time, keep your eyes open, check your change, and as always, happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like this adapted for a YouTube short, blog post, or turned into a script with visual cues for editors or voiceover artists.